get out our Bible books. We're going to open up to page 133. Let's look at page 133. Let's see. Bible books to page 133. Austin, let's go ahead and change the background back just for the class, and then you can do it after class. It looks cool. I wish I was on the beach right now. Charlie, let me check. I checked it last night, and I didn't get the back of it, but let me see. And you might have put it on after I checked it. So let me check real quick. Yes, Charlie, I have the back of it. I'll have to put your grade in. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and do some review. We learned that we're talking about a queen. Anna Clara, what's the queen's name? Esther, good. And Julia, what is the queen's cousin's name, the one who's been taking care of her? Mordecai, good. Now, Mordecai heard of a plot to kill the king, so he told the king about it. Now, there was a man, Austin, who wanted Mordecai to be killed. Who was that man? Starts with an H. Haman, very good job. Now, Haman, Matthew had something built. What did he have built? Do you remember, Matthew? Starts with a G. Gallows, good. So now, Esther, because Mordecai wouldn't bow down, Haman decided that he wanted to do something. Charlie, what was that he decided? He wanted to kill all of the Jews. Good. So Esther was sad about this because that was her people. So Esther went to the king and said she wanted to have a feast. So she had a feast. Now, the king went to Haman and said, there's something that I want to do. What should I do for the person that I honor the most? Who was that person that the king was actually talking about, Liliana? Yes. Yes, I know. Victoria's still not here. Yes, it was Mordecai. So he got a lot of things. Who ended up, Tyler H., being hung on the gallows? Not the king. Was it Haman or Mordecai? Which one? Haman. Good. Haman got hung on the own gallows. And we learned yesterday, Calvin, what is the life principle that we learned? That the events in people's lives are whose plans? God's plans. Good. So today we're going to finish up on page 133. Julia, did you ever watch the class to get what you missed? You got it? Okay. So let's look at this. Who really is in control of all things, Anna Clara? God is, exactly. So the first pencil under the life principle is God. So if this is true, then why was Esther in the right place at the right time? Arnon, what do you think? Why was Esther in the right place at the right time? Who had placed her there? Good. So the little dot under the first pencil. God had placed her there. God had placed her there to help the Jews. That's your blank. God had placed her there to help the Jews. Why had God allowed Mordecai to save the king's life? Remember that. Think about it. Why do you think God had allowed Mordecai to save the king's life? Anna Clara, why do you think? Because, yeah, so here's your blank. To use this later to save Mordecai's life. This is your blank. To use this later to save Mordecai's life. So write that down. That's your pencil. That's your second dot. To use this later to save Mordecai's life. And then why do you think that the king allowed the Jews to live? Why do you think he allowed the Jews to live? Because who had worked in his heart there, Liliana? Say it again. Exactly. So you're blank. God worked in his heart to save their lives. That's your third little dot. God worked in his heart to save their lives. God worked in his heart to save their lives. That's your third little dot. God worked in his heart to save their lives. Esther was successful because she trusted in God and had the courage to do what God wanted her to do. What do you think? What would have happened if Esther had been afraid to go before the king? Tyler B., what do you think? If Esther was afraid to go before the king, what do you think would have happened to all the Jews? Exactly, the Jews would have died. Maybe Mordecai would have been killed. Liliana, what do you think? Okay, so think about that. Now, so think about what would have happened if they would have been afraid. Describe a situation in which you had the courage to do something that was difficult, but you knew it was the right thing. Maybe it was not say something unkind to someone. Maybe it's to stand up for someone that was doing the wrong thing. Maybe people were making fun of someone else and you stood up for them. Write about something where you had the courage to do something that was hard, but you knew it was the right thing to do. Is there anybody that wants to share something where you could have, it was hard to do it, but you still did the right thing? It's okay if you don't want to. I know it's sometimes hard. Okay, are there any questions over this Bible questions? Anybody need anything repeated? Yes, Matthew. Why had God allowed Mordecai to save the king's life? Okay, so the question for the answer to use this later to save Mordecai's life. To use this later to save Mordecai's life. Okay, what I want you to do now, I'm going to type out your classwork for today. So go ahead and take out a piece of paper or wherever you're writing your work down for the day. Take that out. Yes, Anna Clara. You could say anything. The Jews could have died. Mordecai could have died. Something along those lines. Okay, I'm going to. Yes, Matthew. You have it on the schedule. That's good. Okay, so let's hear. Everybody, let's go ahead and look at the share screen. I'm going to type what your work is for today. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. Oh, there you go, good. Okay. Let's see. So that is your work, 5th grade, 6th grade. If you have any questions, so everybody listen before you leave. If you have any questions, make sure that you, oh, no, Charlie, it does not have to be real. If you have any questions, stay on. If you don't have questions, you can leave in 1 second. Now, I need everybody just to listen for a second, okay? So, everybody listening, we have a special guest coming on today to our Zoom class at 2:30. It's our help session, so I want everybody there at 2:30 today. So whether you have questions or not, everybody needs to come at 2:30. We have a special guest, I'll tell you, all the way from Spain that is going to be on our Zoom session today. So make sure everybody comes on at 2:30. If you have any questions, you can stay on. If you don't have questions, 5th graders, I will see you at 9:30. 6th graders, I'll see you at 10. 5th graders, get your work done, your classwork, your spelling, and your penmanship. And then I will see everybody else. So if you have questions, stay on. If not, you guys can go ahead and go. Yes, Calvin, you need to write the vocab. It needs to be everything. Vocab words as well, okay? Julia, what can I do for you today?